Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Saka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Sri Dakshinamurti Sudeshi Kendram Dvaipayanam Sutrakratam Munindram Sri Shankaram Bhashyakritam Yatindram Maddeshi Kanchapi Namami Vityai Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradāya Kartrubhyo Vamsarishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyah Sarvopaplavarahita Prajnana Ganaha Pratyagarto Brahmaivahamasmi Om Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapaniye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Amritaduhe Namaha. Pranams everyone. We are in chapter 3, Sloka number 31. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ye me matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha shraddhavanto nasūyantaha muchyante tepi karmabhihi. So in this Sloka 31, Bhagavan is glorifying Karma Yoga. So remember, we are now in the third chapter where Bhagavan predominantly talks about or has talked about Karma Yoga. And in Sloka 30, just to recap, Bhagavan gave the 5-point program of Karma Yoga. The essence of Karma Yoga was given in only one Sloka. Just to recollect, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasyad adhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva Yudhyasva Vigatachvaraha. Very important sloka. Bhagavan says, Adhyatma Chetasa, with a clear knowledge on Karma Yoga, with a Viveka Buddhi. What is that Viveka Buddhi that we need to have? A, that I must perform Karma Yoga to maintain this cosmic cycle. Karma Yoga is mandatory in the sense. And the second one is, I should have an astika buddhi. Astika buddhi meaning I should have this firm belief or firm knowledge that Ishvara is the karma paladhata. That whatever I get in this world is from Ishvara and not from any other individual. The individual is just an instrument. Then Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. So this is the attitude that one must have when performing actions. My all actions I have to dedicate it to Ishvara. And when I dedicate this to Ishvara, what should be my other attitude that when I do it? Nirashir. Nirashi means no expectation on results. In the sense, when I do my duty, I do not expect that person to reciprocate. I do not expect that person even to acknowledge. Whatever be the result, I should take it as Ishvara Prasada. That is Nirashihi. Then Nirmamo Bhutva. Nirmamo Bhutva means I should not have this feeling of Mamakara. This is mine. That this people belong to me. This thing belongs to me. Problem of having that kind of a feeling is inadvertently, without our knowledge, we will have different standards for things and people that belong to us and for things and people that do not belong to us. Then finally, Vigatachvaraha. Vigatachvaraha means the equanimity, samatvam. Without any tension, without any confusion, without any anxiety. We have to perform our duty with calmness. So that is the essence of Karma Yoga that was given in Sloka 30. And then in 31, which we had started in the last class itself, Bhagavan gives the benefit that a person gets by following Karma Yoga. In this Sloka, he gives the benefit. In the next Sloka, he says what happens to the person if he does not follow Karma Yoga. And here Bhagavan says, Ye me matam idam nityam anutishtanti manavaha. Me matam, Bhagavan says, my teaching. Idam matam me, this teaching or advice of mine, Bhagavan says, So here Bhagavan is referring to himself, or Krishna is referring to himself as Ishvara. And he has prescribed this lifestyle. This matam means lifestyle. This lifestyle means what? Karma Yoga lifestyle has been given by me. And where is it given? Where has he given this? In the Vedas. Both the Vedas as well as the Bhagavad Gita are the words of Ishvara. So if we say what is a form of Ishvara, one of the forms of Ishvara is the Vedas. One of the forms of Ishvara is the Bhagavad Gita. And then Bhagavan says, Anutishtanti manavaha. People who follow, who always follow. Anutishtanti. Who always follow. So, Nityam Anutishtanti. They follow. So if they take up, so the idea is, if you take up dharma, you should take it up at all times, under all circumstances. We should not be talking of dharma only when the situation suits us. So Bhagavan says, these people who follow my teaching, anutishtanti, always follow my teaching, nityam anutishtanti. How are these people? Bhagavan gives in the second line, Shraddhavanto nabhyasuyantaha. Shraddhavanto nasuyantaha. Shraddhavantaha. We saw that also in last class. Shraddha is very important. Shraddha, belief or faith until that it turns into knowledge is called Shraddha. It is not a question of actually trying it out. Shraddha means I have faith, I will follow this until it turns into my knowledge or my personality. When we go to our doctor, we have complete faith. We don't understand the medicine, we don't understand their prescription, we don't understand what they are trying to say, why it is happening, but we have implicit faith on the doctor. In the same way, we should have, or much more than that, we should have our faith in the teachings, in the Vedas, in Bhagavan, in Karma Yoga. And the reason why is, if we fail to have this faith, then it will not work. The benefit of Karma Yoga cannot be attained if we do not have faith in Karma Yoga. And the faith, and the problem also is that Karma Yoga's benefit cannot be measured. It cannot be seen by others. It cannot be, we cannot, as I said in the last class, we cannot say that before Karma Yoga this was my position, after Karma Yoga this was my position. We cannot measure it. We cannot say, by following Karma Yoga now I have actually got so much of people, more followers, more friends, more money, more position, higher position, nothing like that. The benefit is in the purification of the mind, and only we can feel the calmness in the mind. Only we will be able to know it. So Shraddha is very important. And then Bhagavan gives another character, Anasūyantaha. Anasūyantaha, the meaning of Anasūyantaha is Paraguneshu doshaha avishkaranam, meaning finding fault in others is called as Asūya. Asūya means finding fault in others. Anasūyantaha means not doing that, not finding the fault of others. Sometimes we also exaggerate the fault of others. And people take pleasure in finding the fault of others. And whenever there is a problem in our own character, then we try to downplay that. So we always have different scales to measure it, or we can say different lens to see the fault of others and the fault of us. That character of finding fault in others is called as Asūya. There are people who would want to have always somebody as an enemy. In the circumstances, in the people around them, they always want to find fault with one people or two people. If they move with another group, again there has to be one or two persons whom they need to find fault. They will never be able to see the goodness of people all around, goodness in all the people around them. That's because we have an inherent quality called Asūya. We go to a new workplace, we will find a fault with one or two people. We go to a new neighborhood, we will find fault with one or two people. We move with a group of friends, there will be one or two people we will find fault with. It keeps, the people might change, but finding fault will not change. And we will always have one or two people who would always be the bad guys. That's because of our inherent quality, Asūya. It's not a fault of others, it is our fault. That's what Shastra says. And this Asūya is slightly related to, but it is not the same as jealousy. Jealousy is called as Matsarya in Sanskrit. Asūya means not able to recognize the good qualities in people. It can be people, it can be situation, and it arises out of personal insecurity. For example, if someone is praised in front of us, our insecurity is to immediately find fault with the other person. The thing is, we will be able to recognize this Asūya in others quickly. The moment we actually discuss this, our mind will immediately go to that, oh, that person is like this person is like this. The fact is, we are also like that. We will never be able to realize unless we contemplate. We look into situations and see whether we are doing the same. Matsaryam, jealousy, is a problem. Matsaryam means when you want to have something that the other person has already. So that is jealousy. I want to have the same thing as what the other person. This person has got a good house. I want to have a good house. He's got a good job. I want to have a good job. He has a good family. I want to have a good family. He has wealth. I have wealth. He has gone for a holiday. I have to go for a holiday. That is Matsaryam. But Asūya means it includes elements of jealousy, and it has got deep insecurity in the person, and it is added to it is there is a need for this person to grumble, be critical of things. That is called as Asūya. And it is so what are the things Asūya means? Jealousy plus insecurity plus a constant need to grumble about things, be critical of things. And it arises out of dissatisfaction, and it arises of smallness. Superficially, this person would like to feel that they are superior to others, but inherently it comes out of inferiority complex. They try to pose as if they are superior, but the feeling arises out of the inferiority complex. So that is Asūya. Bhagavan says, this person who will be able to do this, who always follow this teaching of mine, are people not having this quality. A person without this character is called as Anasūyantaha. So when we talk about sadhanas to follow, we talk about vratam, different types of vratam. Some are really very strict and some are very severe also. We need not take on these vratams. This vratam, that is probably the biggest obstacle to our adhyatmika growth, our growth, is Asūya. Asūya will never be able to, as long as a person has got Asūya, that person will never be able to see success in life. Because every success is seen along with some problem that is there around the person. So the person will never be able to enjoy success in life. Even if the person gets successful, the person will not be able to relish the success. So this vrata is more important. The first and foremost vrata that we can do to sort of practice this, the first thing that we can do is, I will not find fault in others. I will not find fault in others. Even if my mind is judging them like that, I will make sure that I will not, make it out of my words. I will not call that out. I will not discuss this with anybody. Now, if we start doing this, if we take this vrata, then what happens is 90% of our speech with others will be reduced. We will not talk to others at all. There will be no reason for us to talk. Because if we talk to others, if we look at this, whatever be the subject that we are talking, 90% of the subject is only on two things. One, either finding fault in others, or two, self-praise. We will need to talk about how I did this, what I did this, stuff like that. So either fault in others or self-praise. And we do this self-praising even if we are not worthy of that praise, we will try to do that. So if we say, okay, if we take this vrata, I am not going to find fault in others, then our speech also will be, our mauna vrata will also be, we can also follow mauna vrata. And this Asūya, as I said, it is a dosha that we have without our knowledge. The problem is we ourselves are not able to recognize that. And when somebody else says that you have this problem, then we will say that the other person is actually suffering from Asūya. That is how we see it. We will not reflect on that. Anyway, a person without this character is called as Anasūyantaha. So why Bhagavan says Anasūyantaha? This person will not find fault with anything. He will not find fault in Ishvara's teaching. He will not find fault in Vedas. He will not find fault in Karma Kanda. He will not find fault in Jnana Kanda. He will not find fault in Bhagavad Gita. He will not find fault in the Shastras. Because if we have this attitude of finding fault, if we have that critical mind, then we will reject the scriptures. Even if it says good to us, we will not be able to take it. And by rejecting the scriptures are not going to lose anything. The scriptures have nothing to gain out of our spiritual growth or material growth. The rishis who have actually given all this knowledge, they are not going to lose anything. Bhagavan is not going to lose anything. If we find fault with the scriptures and not follow, I don't believe in these things, I don't care, as if we are trying to insult either the scriptures or the Bhagavan or the rishis, it does not matter, or the guru, whoever it is, only we are going to suffer. If there are certain defects, seeming defects in the scriptures, then it only means that we have not understood that properly. The problem is not with the scriptures. The problem is with our limited intellect. If we have got sufficient Shraddha and if we have sufficient Punya, then with the guidance of the Guru, we will be able to probe the scriptures and we will be able to get the answers. And with the guidance of a sampradāya guru, a person who has understood this knowledge through the parampara, somebody trying to give you some bookish knowledge or trying to give their own interpretation of things is not what you should be looking at. And as I said, for that for us to be able to probe and get the answer, we should have sufficient punya in us. Anyway, so again, Anasūyā is the character or attitude that one must have for that person to be able to follow Karma Yoga. So we even forget Karma Yoga. Even in our daily life, if we want to feel happy, be able to have a calm, contented, nice life, we should get rid of this habit of finding fault in others. It should slowly vanish. We should inculcate this guna of Anasūyā. Now, whether we are able to get jnana in this life or not, we should at least be able to inculcate these basic gunas. And one of the most important ones is to see that we don't talk ill of others, we don't talk fault of others. More importantly, actually, do not even see the fault of others. I mean, if somebody is like that, okay, let them be. That's it. We will be able to see that they are wrong, but it is no need for us to think about it and talk about it or reflect on it as if we are doing this reflection for them. We will reflect, how can they behave like this? Why is it that they are doing like this? And we get agitated out of nothing for something that they should be reflecting upon. And we should not seek pleasure by discussing this with others also. So Bhagavan says, not finding fault in Ishvara's teaching is Anasūyantaha. People who always follow this teaching of mine with faith and without being critical, they are, what will happen to them? What will become of them? Bhagavan says, Muchyante tepi karma bihi. Muchyante means they are freed. Tepi means those people. Who are those people? Those people who have followed Karma Yoga. They are freed. Freed from what? Karma bihi. Karma bihi means from the bonds of karma. Karma bihi means dharma, adharma, rupa, papa, punya. See, actions result in papa or punya depending on whether the actions are dharma or adharma. And this person, by following it, they are freed from papa and punya. In other words, they attain moksha. So people with shraddha, people who have complete faith in Bhagavan's teaching, and people who do not find fault in others, they who follow my highest teaching always, nityam anutishtanti, those people attain moksha. They are the ones who are freed from the bonds of karma. That is the essence of this sloka. So in other words, Bhagavan talks about the glory of Karma Yoga here. Karma Yoga is the first step, remember. Karma Yoga will not give mukti directly. Karma Yoga, by following Karma Yoga, it will take us to mukti, in the sense it will make us qualified for jnana, and through jnana we get this mukti. Now in the next sloka, what happens if a person does not follow the lifestyle prescribed by Bhagavan? What will happen to him? Bhagavan says that in the next sloka, sloka number 32. Ye tve tadabhyasūyantaha nanutishtanti me matam sarvajnana vimūdam stan viddinashtan chetasah. Ye tve tadabhyasūyantaha nanutishtanti me matam sarvajnana vimūdam stan viddinashtana chetasah. So here Bhagavan talks about a person who does not follow Karma Yoga. Ye tu etad. etvetad means etu etad abhyasūyantaha. Etu etad abhyasūyantaha nanutishtanti me matam. A means who is referring to Bhagavan. Tu means but. Tu in Sanskritam, tu means but. When we say but means, here these are the people who are different from the people described in the previous sloka. So the people who follow my teaching, we are freed from karma, from bonds of karma, that's fine. But people who are not, etad means here, who do not follow this matam of mine. So etad matam me, this teaching of mine who do not follow, na anutishtanti. Na anutishtanti means na anutishtanti me matam. So, but who do not follow this teaching of mine. So, who do not follow this teaching of mine, will these people, will they have Shraddha? No. So that need not be called out at all. Bhagavan knows that if they had Shraddha, they would follow the Bhagavan's teaching. Bhagavan says, Abhyasūyantaha. Anasūyantaha, opposite of that is Abhyasūyantaha. Abhyasūyantaha means who criticize. Anasūyantaha is people who do not criticize. Abhyasūyantaha means people who criticize. So here, not only they do not follow Karma Yoga, but they also find fault in the teachings. They say all these Shastras are all humbug. These are all not meant for today's lives. These Shastras are all, they are not scientific. They are not to be followed. These are all not meant for us. It is meant for some other group of people or people in previous generations, not meant for this generation. So who find fault in the teaching? So as I said, there is no fault in Bhagavan's teaching. If we find ever something wrong in it, it is because we have not understood it properly. And these people, in the name of, finding fault, and they say thinking rationally, and they will say kind of open interpretation of the Shastras and our Puranas. They will conduct even debates. They will say, was Rama right in killing Vali from behind this tree? Is it right or wrong? These kind of debates that they conduct. They are all what? They are all Abhyasūyantaha. In the name of intellectual exercise, they want to show off their debating skills. But what one should realize is, one cannot find fault in Bhagavan's avatara's action. If we are finding fault, it is only because we have not understood it. There have been scriptures, there have been multiple texts that have been written in terms of helping us to understand the reason behind those actions or how we have to interpret those actions. But these people do not have the patience, nor do they have the intellectual honesty, nor do they have the Shraddha to understand these teachings. And they don't go to a sampradāya guru, they read out from some other text of text, somebody who has understood it totally differently, and from there they quote and try to understand and try to bring off their debating skills. And there are people who study all these scriptures or Ramayana or Mahabharata only to find fault in that. These people are called Abhyasūyantaha. And what will be their state? Bhagavan says, Sarva Jnana Vimudamstan Viddhi Nashtan Achetasaha. Sarva Jnana Vimudan. Sarva Jnana Vimudan means Sarva means all, Jnana knowledge, Vimudan completely deluded. They are the ones who are completely deluded with all knowledge, with respect to all knowledge. They are completely deluded with respect to all knowledge. And what will happen to them? Tan Vidhi Nashtan Achetasaha. Vidhi Tan. Here Bhagavan is addressing Arjuna. Vidhi means know. Tan means them. Arjuna, know them. Know that these people. Nashtan Achetasaha. Nashtan means to be doomed. They are doomed, to be doomed. Who are these people? Achetasaha. Achetasaha means indiscriminate ones. People without proper intellect. So this is the outcome for people who do not follow, who criticize the teachings of Bhagavan. Achetasaha vimudan nashtan. This is the outcome for them. They are indiscriminate, they are completely deluded, they are doomed. So Bhagavan says, those who do not follow my teaching and they find fault in my teaching, they are completely deluded with respect to all knowledge, and know them to be doomed and to be indiscriminate. Now do small vichara. Sarva Jnana Vimuda. Bhagavan says with respect to all knowledge, he is deluded. So now question is, what type of knowledge should one have? So there are two types of knowledge. For any jiva in this world, for any human being in this world who is born in this world, there are two knowledge that a person must have. One, what is the goal of life? That is the first knowledge. What is the goal of life? Second is, what is the path to achieve this goal of life? And one must be completely clear about these two things. If as a human, when we are born, we don't have these two knowledge, then that life is wasted. So Bhagavan says, when he says Sarva Jnana Vimudan, they are deluded with respect to all knowledge. Bhagavan says they do not have both of this. They do not neither know the knowledge on the goal, nor do they know how to achieve that. So neither they understand Purushartha, nor do they understand Purushartha Sadhana Jnanam. So what do they have? They have what is not supposed to be the goal of life to be their goals of life. That to be their ultimate goal. For example, material success. For example, money, fame, power, position. These are all okay. These are all intermediary goals. It cannot be the goal of life. And what happens if we undertake material success to be the goal of life? We would have seen this in many people's examples. These people will end up in the same place. There have been numerous examples in the Western world. People like Michael Jackson or whoever, they have got everything that anybody could ask for. Money, power, fame, position, everything that they have. They were still unhappy. They will still not be able to say that they had a great life. That's because wrong notion of what should be the goal. And when Bhagavan says they will remain in the same place, Shastra says you do all the effort, but you remain in the same place. You think you are looking for happiness, and for happiness you think money, power, fame, position is all the sensory pleasures will give you happiness. You do all those things that you think that can be done, and yet you remain in the same place. The analogy that is given in the Shastras is, it is like on a dark night, a person wants to go to the middle of the river to fish, and he gets onto a boat and starts to paddle, but without taking the anchor. And the waves keep hitting the boat. It gives him the feeling that, that the boat is moving. But he could have paddled for many hours, but he will be still in the same place. So in the same way, the goals that that they take, they will not bring any improvement in their life, in the sense mentally, to feel calmness, to feel happy, to feel contented, to feel peaceful. They are lost spiritually, and they have lost this precious life of human birth. In Tamil we say, Ippiravi tappinal eppiravi vaikumo edu mariyen paraparame. If this life is lost, if this human birth is lost, I am not sure when I am going to get my next human birth. It could be another millions of births. I do not know when my next chance of human body will be. This is a rare opportunity. I should make use of this. I make sure that I should not destroy myself either physically or spiritually. But here Bhagavan says they are destroyed physically as well as spiritually, because having this Purushartha knowledge is the benefit of Karma Yoga. Some people ask, what is the point of living life according to Dharma? Why should I live according to Dharma? After all, living in Dharma, according to Dharma, is not going to give us name, fame, comforts, any of those things. Because we have seen a lot of people who have a very religious and spiritual life, but seem to be living in poverty. And we say that, well, Dharma is not going to give them name, fame or comforts. So what is the purpose of living it? And there may be people who would say, if you are not living according to their lifestyles, which is adharmic, they will actually call out on things that you are missing out on life. They will make you feel bad about it. That why am I living this life of integrity? Why am I following Dharma? Some people may also call us fools. They will say, you don't know how to live in this world. What they fail to understand is that this knowledge, this conviction on this Purushartha Lakshyam and the Purushartha Sadhanam, that this conviction is what is the benefit of living a life according to Dharma. If we live a life according to Dharma, we are clear about the goal, we are also clear about the means to attain this goal. Otherwise, as I said, it will be like rowing the boat in the middle of in the river with the anchor in the boat, rowing the boat with the anchor on. We will be stagnating in this life. We will ever remain in samsara. So sometimes we get this feeling too, is moksha really the final destination? Because everybody seems to be going towards artha kama. When will I get this conviction that moksha is the ultimate goal of my life? Only if we continue to lead the life of dharma. Only by living according to dharma, we will be able to do that. This conviction on the goal, this conviction on the path will not be there among others. There will be only a small minority of people who have this conviction. So if we look at the others, we think we are actually not with the rest of the world. But understand, others are sarvajnana vimudaha. And Bhagavan says, nashtan, doomed. His entire life is doomed. He has wasted his lifetime. We can get anything back, not time. Once time is lost, it is lost. Bhagavan says their life itself is lost. If a person leads a life of adharma, one might see that, okay, his bank balance is going up, his business is showing profit. But the problem is his life is lost, his papa account will be going up, and most of this agami karma most of the karmas that we are accumulating in this life will not be reflected in this life itself. Because this life, most of the things that are going to happen in this life is based on the prarabdha, which has been already provided, which has been already kind of marked against us when we have taken this body. Most of the karmas that we are accumulating in this life will be manifesting itself as papa or punya only in the subsequent lives. Because this is important to know, because some people think that they had lost their life because of following dharma. If only I had been little adharmic, I would have gained so much. What they should remember is that difficulties that come as a result of living according to dharma is not to be considered as a loss. Satisfaction and mental peace that comes out of following dharma can never be replaced by anything. Harishchandra went through so much of difficulty, so much of pain, just because he wanted to follow one aspect of dharma, which is satyam. How can we do that? Only by the experience we will be able to say that the satisfaction and mental peace that I get by following dharma, that only through experience we will get to know. So Bhagavan says, people who do not follow my teaching lose. In the eyes of the others, they may look like gaining name, fame, power, wealth, position, all those things. But that is not true. They are nashtan. And that is why they are achetasaha, indiscriminate. They are not able to discriminate between what is right, what is wrong. They are unintelligent. That is what Bhagavan says. Go to Sloka number 33. In the meantime, Karthik ji, you raise your hands.
Yeah, I just quick question on the Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, right? Like on a day-to-day basis, sometimes consciously we are offering it some of our actions to God, but other times we forget. So, I know you have mentioned that it is a practice, it will take some time to completely get assimilated. Is that fine? I mean,
Yeah.
like
It is
some
fine.
days I lose track of, offering my actions to God, or, just what you call engrossed in probably pleasure-seeking activities or some of that sort, forgetting everything, that happens, right, at time to time. But there are other days when you are very conscious, okay, early in the morning, okay, and through the day also, you're being like, okay, whatever it is, this is from the Ishvara Arpana standpoint. But some other days, there are days when it completely lost, completely engrossed in the elements of life and not really being very, very conscious. I mean, it will trigger at times, okay, yeah, I forgot, I have not been thinking about God at all today. I was completely engrossed in, so how do we, I don't know,
So, it will take some time. The first thing, morning and night before going to bed, and the moment we wake up, we can take a sankalpa. And there is a Siva Manasa Puja that will also help also. Yadyat karma karomi tattat akilam shambho tavaradanam. Atmatvam girjamati sacharaha prana shariram griham pujate vishayopabhoga rachana nidra samadhi stitihi. Sanchara padayo pradakshna vidhihi stotrani sarva giraha. Yadyat karma karomi tattat akilam shambho tavaradanam. So this basically says that I take my body to be the temple and you to be the Atma to be the Ishvara, and whatever I say, whatever I speak, all becomes your stotras. Wherever I walk, all becomes your pradakshina. When I sleep, it is the equivalent of samadhi. And yadyat karma karomi taddat akilam shambho tavaradanam. Whatever work I do, it is all an offering to you. So this sankalpa we can take in the morning, and then in the night also we can try to remember. But the most important thing, more than Ishvara Arpana, the first and foremost we will have to cultivate is prasada buddhi. The fact that we get disappointed, we get agitated out of results, the fact we get angry, that things are not according to what I want, that we should start reducing. That we can do it through prasada buddhi. Everything, any result that has happened cannot be changed. So, as in anything that has happened in the past cannot be changed. The first and foremost that we have to have this feeling of acceptance. Okay, it has happened. It's fine. It's done. It's Ishvara's prasada. I take it. It's happened. Okay, fine. I just need to move on. What I can do from now on. We have to take that as Ishvara prasada. That is the first way to actually be able to move to from Ishvara prasada buddhi. Then we can slowly move on to Ishvara arpana buddhi.
Got it. Thank you.
Sloka number 33. Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakritirjnanavanapi prakritim yanti bhutani nigraham kim karishyati. Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakritirjnanavanapi prakritim yanti bhutani nigraham kim karishyati. So in these two slokas, meaning 33 and 34, Bhagavan gives an answer as to why not everyone lives according to Karma Yoga. What is the reason that not all people live by Karma Yoga? We may get this question, isn't it? Because we will say Bhagavan has given such a nice roadmap, he's given fantastic teaching, and yet not all people are able to follow dharma. Only a few people live according to dharma. There are only a few people who come to dharma. Sometimes we'll say, we'll try to answer this like, 5 fingers are different and each finger is different, therefore people act differently. Now, why do people not do what they are supposed to do in the situation that they are in? What is the reason for people to behave in such manners? So 3 questions typically. Why do people not be able to follow dharma? Why is it that they are all different? Each person seems to be behaving differently in the same situation. And the third reason is, why are people not able to do what they are supposed to do? What is the reason? So for these 3 questions, Bhagavan has answers here. And the answer comes in this sloka as well as the next sloka. We need to understand these two together. And these two are very connected. Unless we are able to connect these 2 slokas, we will not be able to get the answer. If we just look at this sloka alone, we will totally misunderstand. It is like crossing half the well. It is equally disastrous as crossing quarter or 3/4. So if someone understands this sloka, if you understand this sloka, if you come to this sloka not for next class, it will be a danger. So understand these 2 slokas together. Now in these 2 slokas, Bhagavan talks about psychology. So remember, we had 3 questions. Why not all people follow Karma Yoga lifestyle? In the sense, why do they not follow dharma? The second is, how come people have different ways of living? I mean, like all the 5 fingers belong to the same hand, but they look different. In the same way, 3 children come from the same family, they have the same upbringing, but they behave differently. They have different interests. That is the second question. And then the third is, why do people not do what they are supposed to do in a situation? And problem for this, in this case, is we get angry. Why are they not responding to the situation the way they should be responding to? And when we get angry, Bhagavan is going to say that. He is going to say, do not get angry. And Bhagavan will give us a reason and will ask us to look from that angle. So that reason and knowledge Bhagavan will give in this sloka. Now, what impacts us most, if you look at it, when people related to us, in the sense who come under our mamakara, that is my people, my set of people, when they evade from their duties, when they try to evade from their duties, like their duties towards me, we try to stop them, as in not, we try to stop them from evading from their duties. We try to influence them, we try to order them, we try to plead with them. Bhagavan says, do not do that. Do not try to stop them. And Bhagavan says, you will face failure. Forget you. Bhagavan says, even I cannot stop them. I will not be able to stop them. Why do we say that? Remember, if Bhagavan had the capacity to change people, then what he should have done is just removed the feeling of jealousy from Duryodhana's mind. If he had removed jealousy from Duryodhana's mind, the entire Mahabharata war could have been stopped. But Bhagavan felt that conducting the war was easy, but changing that single character of Duryodhana's was not possible. So Bhagavan says, basically a person's guna or prakriti, it cannot be changed. Again, whatever I am saying in this class, you will have to come to the next class to be able to see that. In this sloka, we are talking about in this sloka now. Bhagavan says, a person's guna or prakriti cannot be changed. Bhagavan says, everyone behave according to their prakriti. And to do nigraha on that prakriti. Nigraha means to stop them, to put a stop to their prakriti. It will not give any benefit to you. It will not give any benefit to them. It will not give any benefit to Bhagavan. Neither you nor them nor Bhagavan will gain anything from that. That is what Bhagavan says here. Now we'll go to the sloka. Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakriter jnanavan api. Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha. Swasyaha means one's own. Swasyaha means one's own. Prakritehe. Swasyaha prakritehe. Prakritehe means one's own nature, guna, swabhava. We are talking about the guna swabhava. Swabhavam we know. If someone gets angry frequently, we say that is his swabhava. If someone is always polite, we say that is his swabhava. If someone donates a lot, that is his swabhava. The nature of the individual. That Bhagavan refers to here as prakriti. Each one's nature, sadrisham. Sadrisham means according to, in keeping with. So in keeping with each one's nature, cheshtate. Cheshtate means they behave, they act, they lead their lives. So each one behave according to their nature. Everyone behaves according to their nature. That is what Bhagavan says. Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakritehe. Everyone behaves according to their nature. So what do we understand? Every individual, they live their life according to their swabhava. This is what Bhagavan says. Here Shankaracharya gives a lakshana for prakriti. Lakshana means some adjective for prakriti, or we saw prakriti to be swabhava, nature. We say in Tamil, we say tanmai, adan tanmai. What is this prakriti or swabhava or the nature? This swabhava is different from person to person. this nature of the person is different from person to person, and what determines this person's nature, what is the reason why different persons have different svabhava, that we will see in the next class. Any questions or comments? Okay. If not, we will see again in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Krishnan ji, you have some question? Krishnan? Okay. I see you have put on your hand.
Yeah, sorry, I just was unmuted.
Yeah.
No, you just gave a sloka, right, for morning and night.
Yeah.
To be, if possible, that will help to, start the day and end the day with a positive note, right? So if that can be shared, that will be great.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. We'll see you in the next class.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you.